It's crazy that I'm sitting right here because honestly, when I woke up this morning, I really wasn't feeling it. Definitely have been a little discouraged this week, but nevertheless, it is what it is. I don't give a fuck. We gonna keep pressing forward. All right. My name is Michael DeLue. Today is Wednesday, April 20th. This is episode 93. 93 of them hoes have pulled the tape. Okay. Happy hump day. Today's Wednesday. With that being said, I'm going to just jump right into it. A lot of great playoff basketball in the association yesterday, so I can't wait to dive into that and dissect it and just jump into it. All right, so with that being said, the Memphis Grizzlies beat the Minnesota Timberwolves 124-96. You know what I love to do on every episode? I love to give credit to where credit is due. So I got to give a big props and big shout outs to the Memphis Grizzlies because yesterday their scoring and tenacity for Memphis was just completely off the charts. Like it was unmatched from the opening tip off. You could tell that Memphis had a point to prove in the way they were going to play yesterday. And I want to give a big shout out to I want to say, yeah, he's my coach of the year, Taylor Jenkins. He was able, this is the first time I think he's done this in a while, but he used his depth like really well, and it just showed yesterday that Memphis is a really deep team and one of the best teams in the NBA because of the fact that they can go deep, they can go within their bench and still get quality minutes and quality production from all sorts of various players. Yesterday, 10 players logged more than double-digit minutes, and truthfully, Memphis played tough. They played physical, and they didn't worry about like Memphis is one of those teams that doesn't really have to worry about foul troubles because they have a lot of good players on their team. Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bane, Steven Adams. The list goes on and on and on. They even have what's his name? Tyus Jones off the bench. They have good players, and honestly, the biggest difference between what I saw yesterday and what I saw on was it Sunday? Did they play on Sunday? I think Sunday was. Memphis did a way better job containing Karl-Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. Man, because the game one, them two dudes right there were just doing whatever they wanted on the court. Hey, no cap, no lie, word to my mother. Anthony Edwards was the best player on the court in the game one, by far, not even close. Was the best player on the court, and because of that, that's what caused the Grizzlies to lose. But yesterday's game, Karl-Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards combined for 10 turnovers, and the two of them, honestly, in my opinion, were average at best. Like they combined for 10 points from game one to game two. The Memphis Grizzlies defense cut off 34 points. The Wolves went from 130 points to 96 points. That's a 34-point differential. That we know what that is. That's lockdown defense. That's strapping up. That's communicating on the defensive end. That's getting in the passing lanes. That's being active, being physical, and being aggressive. That's what the fuck all that is, which is what Memphis is. Memphis is a grit and grind team. Or it's not. They still kind of have the same components of the grit and grind era from the 2010s with Zach Randolph and whatever, but they're just way more explosive now. Way more. It's the same concept and the same core values of the team, but different personnel, whatever. So shout out to the Grizzlies for getting that shit done. And then another reason. Okay, there was like three or four reasons why Memphis was able to win the game. One of them was their defense. One of them was their execution. One of them was their physicality. And in my opinion, what the last one was the bench, man. We see this time and time again. Like this isn't even like how do I put this? This isn't even a fucking secret. I could tell this shit like 15 years ago when I wasn't even like I didn't really understand the X's and O's of basketball. Role players play better at home. Last game, Memphis gave up 40. Memphis got outscored. Memphis bench was outscored. The Timberwolves bench had 43 points. 43 points. And majority of those points came from two individuals, Malik Beasley and Jaden McDaniels. This game, fuck no. The opposite happened. The fucking Grizzlies bench. The Grizzlies bench poured in 60 points. The Grizzlies bench poured in 60 points, and that's what you need at any team. I'm not even going to say just the Memphis Grizzlies. Any team. If you want to win games, your bench has to show up, especially your home games. We all know this is no secret. Role players, do better at home. Role players don't really excel on the road, and hostile. I don't want to call it hostile because at the end of the day, it's basketball. But role players excel when they're playing in front of a home crowd, when they're getting cheered, when they hit a shot, and then the whole arena goes crazy, and the momentum is on their side. That's when you see role players hitting shots, being disruptive on defense, all those different things, and that's what the Memphis Grizzlies were able to do yesterday. They got 60 points from their bench. Ja Morant was simply incredible. 23 points, 9 assists, and 10 rebounds. Almost fucked around and had a triple-double. So shout out to the Grizzlies for making it, for coming out and making a statement, letting people know, like, you know what, this is a series. They're not these. Everything they said they meant. They want all the smoke. This is not going to be like, I definitely feel like in game one they for sure came out. And this is what I was alluding to on Monday. I tried to do a reaction to game one video, but the devil was working hard. Nevertheless, I'm here. I'm still we still made it happen. We still rocking, but I definitely feel like in game one, the Grizzlies came out and, didn't play with a sense of urgency. Because, at the end of the day, the Grizzlies still are a very young team. And, at times, you are going to see them having young team tendencies. You know what I mean? Like, same thing with the Timberwolves. Because I feel like even if the Timberwolves would have won game two, I still don't think the series would have been over. Because I feel like a team like that would look at it as, oh, yeah, we're damn near going to win. We're going to win this series already. Like, we go up 2-0. I feel like it's 90% of the teams that go up 2-0 end up winning the series. So I just felt like, being these are the two youngest teams in the playoffs, the average age is like 24, 25 years old. Like, the series is still going to be up and down. There's no indication that this series is going to be over any soon. 6-7 games, in my opinion. But to get to the fucking Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards was decent, and I'm not gonna go too hard on Anthony Edwards because this is only his second season in the league. Karl Anthony Towns was below average, and I can't even sugarcoat this. DeAngelo Russell was ass. He was 3 of 11 from the field. That is ass. DeAngelo Russell, that is ass. That's not gonna cut it. That is look. I can't. This is the nicest way I can say this. There's no reason why your starting point guard should be 3 of 11 from the field and he's one of your best players. That's not going to cut it. That's ass cheeks. That's fucking terrible. That is not going to that doesn't lend to winning basketball whatsoever. Like, that's not it. Look, the name of the game in the playoffs is whose star players can play to their usual standards. Okay, whose star players can replicate or increase what they did in the regular season, okay? Because, we see a lot of times where a lot of players, dip in production in terms of the playoffs or whatever. But the name of the playoffs, and if I wanted to just dumb it down to the most simple thing possible, is whose star players are going to play to their normal selves against the better teams under the brighter lights with better defenses with more attention focused on themselves. Whose players are going to do that, okay? That's the name of the game. If you go through the fucking 40, whatever, still not, I was going to say 40, the 75 years of professional basketball, majority of the time, the teams that win the NBA championships, their best players play to extraordinary levels, okay? And I'm not expecting D'Lo to be the best player on the court, but 3 of 11 is just not going to cut it. And the reason why the Wolves lost is because Karl Anthony Towns was below average. Nowhere near his season average. Nowhere near his season average. Anthony Edwards was average. And the reason why I say average because, this is still his second playoff game. It's still his second playoff game. Karl Anthony Towns is, I don't want to call him a veteran, but he's not a young player anymore. Same thing with D'Lo. So I expect more from them. And that the type of production that they got yesterday from those two individuals is not going to cut it. Moving forward, if they continue to play like that, which I don't expect, this won't be a series for much longer, but I honestly see the Wolves winning the next game, or I think by game 5 it'll be a 2-2 series, and then it'll be a best of 3 from that point. But yeah, the Wolves have a series now, so I can't even say the Wolves have a series because the Wolves did what no one expected them to do to begin with, which is steal a game from the Grizzlies on their home court, and they were able to do that. So kudos to them, in their Game 1 win, but they definitely need to step up the production and step up the effort, or just whatever. A bunch of things need to step up for Game 3 for them to take a W. With that being said, I want to get into my next topic, which it's kind of crazy because I had, as I was watching this show. So for those of you guys who don't know, Winning Time is a show on HBO about the Showtime Lakers. So Showtime Lakers is from 1979 to around like the early 90s when Magic Johnson retired. And it follows the inception of the Showtime Lakers. So when Jerry Buss bought the team, to the championships they won, the success they experienced during the 80s, and during the 80s, to be honest, with all different types of players. So the series follows. So some of the series regulars are Jerry Buss, obviously, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Paul Westhead. What's the Lakers coach name? Oh, damn, I don't even know his name. Jerry West. Jeannie Buss, a bunch of players, a bunch of people, a bunch of players, everything. Shows how the forum became the forum and all these different things. So as I was watching the show, I was just in my head, anytime I watch biopics and stuff like that, and things that are reinciting and stuff that I wasn't alive to see, I always wonder, okay, how much of this shit is true versus how much of this shit is dramatized? Because I mean, it always says in all the things, like, some of this stuff is for dramatization purposes, whatever. Because like one of the biggest biopics I've ever seen, or one of the most popular ones, there are several ones, but the one I want to allude to is NWA, or Straight Outta Compton. And I remember after watching Straight Outta Compton, a lot of people were just really upset about the fact that they made Dr. Dre look like he was a saint, when in actuality, Dr. Dre beat the shit out of multiple women, was an abuser or whatever. Like, out of all the members of the group, they made Dre look like a saint. Like, it didn't feature any of the bad scenes from Dre or anything like that. So then as I'm watching Winning Time, I'm just wondering, okay, so what's real, what isn't, what's dramatized, what isn't, all this other stuff, because it's based on true events. And the Jerry West character is one of the characters that stood out to me, because how the series first started is Dr. Jerry Buss leaves the Playboy Bunny mansion, and he's surrounded by bitches in the very first scene. So I was like, oh shit, Dr. Buss was a nigga like this? But I don't know how true that was. Nevertheless, it is what it is. So Jerry West, who is the logo of the NBA, absolutely hates Winning Time. And this week, which is not a surprise, because I remember watching a video on TMZ, and a reporter asked Magic Johnson, what did you think of Winning Time? And he was like, yeah, I'm not watching that. I don't support it, blah, blah, blah. And it was quite obvious that I don't think many of the people I don't know exactly how these shows like this are made without the, consent of the people who own the licensing and the rights and the, copyright to the Lakers and stuff like that. But it seemed like majority of the people from top to bottom really, I'm yet to actually watch Jeannie Buss's video, because she did a video on All the Smoke podcast where I think she talked about it. But Jerry West, this week demanded a retraction and an apology for what he calls is a baseless and malicious assault on his character. His legal team sent a letter to HBO producer Adam McKay, and in the show, Jerry West is portrayed by Jason Clarke. In the show, he's portrayed as an angry guy that throws and yells a lot, cusses a lot, very egotistical and power hungry type of dude. And it just seems like he's just like a ticking time bomb in the show, and he does not like that at all. And I always, like, even when I was watching the thing, I was just like, I wonder how true this is, because I don't necessarily get the vibe and the notion that this is who Jerry West is as a person, but that's what he's being portrayed as in the show. He felt so upset and so bothered by this that he had his legal team write a letter, and we're gonna see how far that goes. And then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Cooper, Jamal Wilkes, Mitch Kupchak, who were all players on the Showtime Lakers, even also wrote letters supporting Jerry West in his claim that he feels like he is being attacked personally. And yeah, so it's really interesting to think it's really interesting to think about because, like I said, anytime I watch biopics, like because I wasn't alive to see certain things and, I wasn't part of those inner circles, I didn't interact with these people, I always just wonder, like, okay, how much of this shit is actually real? And how much of this shit is dramatization for the purposes of TV? You know what I mean? Because somebody like me, who's so invested into sports and, I feel like it surrounds the basis of my life. I love stuff like this. I love seeing stuff like this and stories being retold and biopics and documentaries. I love 30 for 30s. I love documentaries. Like, I love that shit. It's always an opportunity for me to learn. And one of the main things at the end of the day, what people need to understand is you can't always take everything for what it is because it's not. Some of it is for dramatization purposes. Like, not everybody's life is a fucking movie where it'll be, oh my God, everything can play out on screen perfectly. Like, in one of the scenes in Straight Outta Compton, Dr. Dre punched one of the dudes in the studio who was a blood. One of the dudes that got interviewed on Vlad TV said that would never fucking happen. Dr. Dre didn't punch nobody. He would have got his ass beat if he touched any of us. So, with that being said, that concludes this episode of Pull Up the Tape. Really, really short episode. For the most part, I like to analyze the games, the games that I feel like aren't the main headlines or main stories of the fucking playoffs in their own like 5 to 8 minute videos. So that's why I try to keep it short. I'm trying to get my watch hours up, my view time up, and all these different things. But with that being said, my name is Michael DeLu. I want to thank you guys for listening to Pull Up the Tape. Thank you for watching the Pull Up the Tape, whatever the case may be. To all the people who keep supporting me, shout out to you, shout out to you, shout out to you. We at the end of every episode, you know what I always love to do. You feel me? I give love to where it needs to be given. Long live my brother Abdul. I miss you. I really, really do miss you every single day. Yeah, long live Nip. Long live Kobe. Long live Gigi. Long live Pop Smoke. It's Wednesday. Woo back Wednesday. Feel me? Free Chef G. Free Pooh Shiesty. Feel me? Long live V Roy. Long live Mac Miller. All that. You know what I feel me? Hey, you already know how we rock. You already know what we coming. Feel me? Whoa, it's Wednesday. Whoa. I'm out this bitch.